But today's topic's going to be on Black history, and I thought it good to do this topic because it's Black History Month, and I think there's a lot of things that will be good for us to discuss today, go into depth, so that we could try to get some resolvement into what our Black history really is. You know what I mean? So I'm with my brother here today. He called me up today and he said he's got some proper, vibrant, fire information that would work today for the cause and stuff. So we're just gonna ask if you can sit back, anticipate and listen to some real word today, you know? Right.
How you doing, peoples? You cool?
Well.
Yeah?
Yo.
Blessed, man. Everything blessed.
Yeah, basically what it was is my brother, he just hit me up earlier, man, was just like, yo, man, I'm going to do a little talk on this Black History Month thing, you know? And it just got me to thinking, you know, just about what it means to me and what I feel it achieves, and brought a lot of questions to mind, you know? And it got me thinking about who founded Black History Month. You know, who found it, who created
The question
Black
that
History
comes
Month.
to my head always as well, which is something that we should always look into. Always look into who created or started
Oh, the
something.
root, the founder.
Yeah, always
Of course,
the
man.
root. And that's something you showed me.
Definitely,
as well.
man. Always look at the root and the founder, and look at where their head's at, what they believe in and what they're following. You know what I mean? It gives a big indication a lot of the time as to what they're putting out or what they're writing about. You know?
Yeah.
But yeah, looking into it, wasn't nothing hard. Obviously, you know, everyone's got a phone nowadays, so went onto Wikipedia, started looking into it, and I found this guy Carter G. Woodson, who was the founder. Basically, I'll just read a little bit out of it, and you can hear what I'm saying. It says Black History Month, also known as African American History Month in America, is an annual observance in the United States, Canada, and United Kingdom for remembrance of important people and events in the history of the African diaspora. It is celebrated annually in the United States and Canada in February and in the United Kingdom in October.
Dates. You see those dates as well.
Negro History Week, 1926. The precursor to Black History Month was created in 1926 in the United States when historian Carter G. Woodson and the Association for the Study of Negro Life and History announced the second week of February to be the Negro History Week. This week was chosen because it coincided with the birthday of Abraham Lincoln on February the 2nd and of Frederick Douglass on February the 14th, both which dates Black communities had celebrated together since the late 19th century. From the event's initial phase, primary emphasis was placed on encouraging and coordinating teaching of the history of American blacks in the nation's public schools. The first Negro History Week was met with a lukewarm response, gaining the cooperation of departments of education of the states of North Carolina, Delaware, and West Virginia, as well as the city school administrations of Baltimore and Washington, D.C. Despite this, far from universal acceptance, the event was regarded by Woodson as one of the most fortunate steps ever taken by the association, and plans for a repeat of the event on an annual basis continued apace. At the time of Negro History Week's launch, Woodson contended that the teaching of Black history was essential to ensure the physical and intellectual survival of the race within broader society. And he said this is a quote: "If a race has no history, it has no worthwhile tradition. It becomes a negligible factor in the thought of the world, and it stands in danger of being exterminated. The American Indian left no continuous record. He did not appreciate the value of tradition. And where is he today? The Hebrew keenly appreciated the value of tradition, as is attested by the Bible itself. In spite of worldwide persecution, therefore, he is a greater factor in our civilization." In 1929, the Journal of Negro History was able to note that with only 2 exceptions, officials with the state departments of education of every state with considerable Negro population had made the event known to the state's teachers and distributed official literature associated with the event. Churches also played a significant role in the distribution of literature in association with Negro History Week during this initial interval. Yeah, we're gonna get to that.
Yeah, so key bullet point those
Keep
points,
that in mind.
please.
With the mainstream and black press aiding the publicity effort, Negro History Week was met with enthusiastic response. It prompted the creation of Black History Clubs and increased in interest among teachers and interest from progressive whites. Negro History Week grew in popularity throughout the following decades, with mayors across the United States endorsing it as a holiday. We're going to get to that as well.
Holiday for our history, so we could only celebrate it on holiday.
Holy Day. Bear that in mind, we're going to get back to it. On 21st of February 2016, 106-year-old Washington DC resident and school volunteer Virginia McLaurin visited the White House as part of Black History Month. When asked by the president why she was there, Virginia said, "A black president, a black wife, and I'm here to celebrate black history. That's what I'm here for." United States Black History Month 1976. The expansion of Black History Week to Black History Month was first proposed by the leaders of Black United Students in Kent State University in February 1969. The first celebration of the Black History Month took place in Kent State 1 year later, in February 1970. In 1976, as part of the United States bicentennial, the informal expansion of Negro History Week back to Black History Month was officially recognized by the US government. President Gerald Ford spoke in regards to this, urging Americans to seize the opportunity to honor the too often neglected accomplishments of black Americans in every area of endeavor throughout our history. United Kingdom, 1987. Black History Month was first celebrated in the United Kingdom in 1987. It was organized through the leadership of Ghanaian analyst Akiaba Ade Sebo, who then served as a coordinator of a special project for the Greater London Council and created a collaboration to get it underway. It was first celebrated in London and has become part of a national institution. So that's a little rundown of what I found out and the introduction of what Wikipedia is saying basically about what it was about, you know.
Well, very good.
Now we're going to get back into it as well, but I just wanted to give you the full rundown of the information, so then after we can start going and dissecting exactly what was said here. But
and answering questions. So I want to thank my brother for coming with that information, because what reality TV is trying to put forward is the truth. You know what I mean? So the truth has to be pushed forward, and any other opinion, suggestion or thought, we're not really going to get into that. We're just trying to stick with facts. What actually is living out currently, yeah, and what was told about how things would be and stuff, and if it ties up with and if it adds up. So that's all we're going to be really discussing today. So I just want to say quickly, expanding on what my brothers just said.
yeah,
So for myself, growing up, I grew up in the Seventh-day Adventist Church, yeah, and you would have thought, growing up in church and stuff like that, everything that was told to you and everything you read as gospel in the Bible, you either understood what it meant, or you just listened to what the pastor was saying, basically.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I was growing up on that sort of thought, at the fact that I would go to church, not reading my Bible, and listen to everything what the pastor was saying, not quizzing.
but you was young though as well,
Yeah.
at the same
Yeah.
time. Being young, you
Yeah.
know what I mean? You
So-
didn't think to, and you obviously didn't have the understanding of the words of the Bible.
You see what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
And
You know.
and the scary thing with that is that you're kind of getting brainwashed into believing something that you're not even sure about yourself. So
Well,
if-
basically what you're saying is the preacher teaches you to believe in something without seeing
Yeah.
basically proof of it.
because of us,
Because you're listening to their words
Yeah,
basically without
because-
researching yourself.
Because they always end with "Thus saith the Lord." People think,
The Lord's
it's
word.
the Lord saying it, and it
It's
has
gospel.
to. Yeah. So basically, cutting a long story short, grew up through my teenage years, left home and stuff, read and dwelt around a lot of Rastas, a lot of Egyptology guys and stuff. I've been to a lot of places and stuff and heard a lot of their truth and stuff, and I admire the way some people are true to what they believe and stuff. But the question that's always stuck out in my head,
Yeah.
is watching films like Roots,
Yes.
seeing the state of the fact that black people are just stigmatized out the situation to where we're labelled and painted with the same brush.
Constantly
everywhere we go.
reminded.
I'm constantly reminded, which
They was showing Roots about 6 months ago.
you see what I'm saying? So constantly reminding us about us being tortured and stuff and being enslaved and
being downtrodden.
But the question I had for God or the Most High was, why on earth did that have to happen to us? You know what I mean? And whether or not I know the truth, or whether what they say is the truth about them being cursed, it's living out. I try to get certain jobs and stuff. It hasn't worked out. See what I'm saying? I've been checked, stopped by the police many times. You see what I'm trying to say? And I know for a fact, like, the whole world knows, all races know that black people really get the rough of the savagery. You know what I mean? We get dealt with real bad. This is a subject on black history, and I don't want anyone to start thinking that we're trying to be activists or we're trying to stand up like the Black Panther group party or anything like that. We're going to specifically talk about each subject to its own, you know what I mean? So,
And they're all interrelated as well.
yeah, so going back to the black history, I've listened to Malcolm X, I've seen his film, I've heard Farrakhan many years, I've heard Professor Griff, I've heard many people, even the years that I was at church and stuff, even with yourself, going to church at Croydon.
I came up in the SDA as well, so I'm familiar with what you're saying.
The times we used to watch those documentaries and stuff, we've always asked the question, okay, that literature there was deep, but the questions still don't really get answered. You see what I'm saying? So cutting to the point now, what I'm directly saying is, if anyone on this earth has a theory of the truth, he has to prove it, right? It's a theory, innit? If you say that I'm gonna do this or do that, you have to prove
It's a theory
it and
until
show.
proven.
Right.
Show and prove.
You see what I'm saying? And this is where I've been all my life with this situation.